I've personally never been too keen on the Hunger Games franchise. It always felt like one of those offbeat Harry Potter knockoffs that teenage girls watch to please their boredom. Just like those Maze Runner films, or let's say those Divergent movies. Oh Hollywood, you manipulative overlords who use people as cash cows to build your billion-dollar empires, meanwhile preaching and pretending to care about the rest of the world through your Oscar speeches.
The person asking to sit in the most respected seat in our country imitated a disabled reporter. Someone he outranked. It kind of broke my heart.
Look at little Goblin Jr. Gonna cry?
I would never do that. I'm telling you, I would never do it.
Wait a second!
As if your terrible acting and creative decay meant anything at all. Hunger Games is one of those old terrible franchises that should have stayed dead for a reason, but no Hollywood has to bring it back to life through a prequel movie. Oh, the exact route every has-been franchise picks up when they're running out of steam: Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts, Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. X-Men franchise and prequel X-Men franchise. Star Wars went back twice to the prequels in order to resurrect and revitalize failing box office numbers. I'm sure fans are happy with all the new Star Wars content. IKK?
How did we get here? What happened? Like, what happened to Star Wars? What happened?
The Hunger Games 5 also stars Disney's Snow White and Warner Brothers, one of those DC God characters whose name I don't remember. She wasn't memorable in Shazam 2, though I remember Mary Marvel. Oh, what a woman. Rachel Zegler is brown, which makes her the perfect actor for every major studio to cast her, as it pleases both white and non-white audiences. Like an interracial baby whom everybody can identify with, or like those interracial ads you see on cable TV nowadays, where all the same race couples. Oh, gone are the times. It seems like the movie is a period piece, like Fantastic Beasts movie that took place in 1960s or 80s, I don't remember. Same vibes. The movie has some returning characters who are young now, like President Snow. He seems like a nice man in this one. I wonder what turned him into the awful caricature villain that we know him as. The white male representation that Hollywood thinks we deserve to see in every major franchise.
You've never experienced oppression in your entire fucking life. Neither have I. You're fucking a white male. You're a white man.
The movie was directed by Francis Lawrence, the dude who made all the other Hunger Games movies. The writing duo made the horrendous Assassin's Creed movie and Star Wars The Force Awakens. So you see, this could go both ways. Either it fails terribly by being a woke nonsensical girl power movie, or a fairly entertaining girl power movie. There are no other ways, you see. Especially not in today's Hollywood, where a woman stars as the lead in a big budget blockbuster. It's going to be a girl power movie regardless.
I wouldn't advise that. I can't very well let her leave. You could, if you knew exactly where she was going.
Now Rachel Zegler, no offense to her parents, she's terrible. She's one of the worst actors I've ever seen in my life. Woman can't act to save her life from fellow New Yorkers or a DC dragon made out of wood for some reason. She's just an awful actor with a pretty face. She's not even that pretty. Both of her last two movies have bombed. I don't get why Hollywood is so adamant about making Rachel Zegler happen. Her stardom has died before it could ever shine. Being pretty and being able to sing isn't enough to be a good actor. If that were true, then Dwayne Johnson would have won at least a dozen Oscars by now. Did you change the hierarchy of power in the DC universe, Rocky Boy? Recently, Lionsgate has been making decent films, with all the John Wick movies, Wrath of Man, Plane, Operation Fortune. Ruse de Guerre, not the best movies, but definitely entertaining cinema with less virtue signaling, unlike certain other Hollywood studio.
Fifth grade teacher now under investigation by Florida's Department of Education for playing the Disney movie Strange World. Now this movie features a gay character.
Hey yo, what the
Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones and X-Men Days of Future Past is in this film. He didn't have much of a role in Avengers Infinity War, where he appeared as a giant. He didn't have much of a role in X-Men Days of the Future Past either. I don't expect him to be a front-running character in this film either. I'm sure his role would be very similar to the X-Men one. Katniss Everdeen aka Jennifer Lawrence wouldn't be in this movie. Oh no, the first female action movie star isn't going to star in her own movie franchise, a franchise that made your career.
I remember when I was doing Hunger Games, nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie.
What?
Seems like your days of being the biggest and first female action movie star is over, Jan. I wonder what happened. Was it your relationships with certain movie producers?
Harvey gave us just what we needed, another him.
Better than I do.
Sometimes I call him Jennifer, it's a pet name.
Was it due to your insane demands on the sets of SMN movies or your behavior elsewhere? I wonder. The first female action hero, Give Me a Break Woman, Alien franchise, and Terminator movies existed before you were even born, honey bun. Just stop with all your bickering and self-glorification. Become humble or become irrelevant. The VFX seems to be on point with this one, though I expecting much bigger action set pieces for the film, since the Hunger Games movies ended on a high note. Now I don't expect the film to be any good. In fact, I don't expect the movie to make profits or be a fun time. In my humble opinion, Hollywood cares more about propaganda and activism rather than filmmaking and entertainment these days. The Hunger Games movies are very similar to Star Wars, fighting some fascist dictator in a world far, far away from real life, with weapons and pretty young actors. That's always been the way with these movies, or for that matter, any coming-of-age dystopian action movie.
And we'll get along fine, Fascist Morty. For starters, I just need to get to Fort Bojalon Prime.
You will go where I want you to go!
Fighting some sort of authoritarian government or institution. God, even the horrible woke Last of Us HBO TV show was about the same. Sprinkled with enough gay and lesbian storylines and name-dropping socialism and communism. Man, even the new Ant-Man movie, Quantumania, was a coming-of-age dystopian. Fighting a fascist dictator movie. Tell me I'm wrong. All these films are cut from the same cloth of rebels versus authoritarian government. I wonder what kind of impact this would have on the larger population who watches such films growing up.
That is what the trans genocide in this country, in this city, has brought me to. Imagine that! I hate this! I hate what you've done to us!
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Will they become crybabies who wear masks and gloves and beat up people on streets calling them Nazis and other pejoratives? Or would they become crybabies who tweet every 5 minutes about normal people misgendering them? Oh, I wonder. The worst part of the film is that Rachel Zegler isn't even 5 foot tall. How is she supposed to fight and survive in Hunger Games? What's she going to do? Beg the rest of the team to let her go? I don't get it. What's the point of hiring 4 foot tall actresses to beat up 6 foot and 7 foot tall male stuntmen? I don't get why Hollywood thinks that works and is great for the suspension of disbelief. I mean, Tom Cruise isn't 6 foot. Dude's barely 5 foot 7 inches, but the dude manages to stay in great shape regardless of his age or the crazy stunts he's got to do. Even Jackie Chan, who isn't very tall. Dude's never beaten 6 foot tall men in his films. Every time he does, it's some kind OT funny mistake. But now in 2023, 4 foot tall skinny women are able to beat up 6 foot tall men with nothing but their super strong fists. How is that for suspension of disbelief? Let's make Ray proud.
Ray Skywalker.
No wonder people are flocking to watch Super Mario Bros. Movie. At least that movie has enough comedy and action with no feminist or girl power propaganda. Oh great. Anyways, let's wait and see what the future reveals. Hunger Games movies have never been a great nor interesting franchise to me. I've never waited and seen the new Hunger Games movies in theaters, and this trailer, as far as I know, didn't create any hype or interest for me to see it in theaters. I will stream the film when it comes out on Netflix. Thanks, Lionsgate. I'm tired. Bye-bye, my friends.
Talk to you soon, okay? Bye!